to take this opportunity to acknowledge and respect the territory that we are on today by acknowledging that it is the ancestral homeland of the Adena, Erie, Hopewell, and Shawnee people. I'd like to talk with you today about health. What does it mean to be healthy? All of us here likely have a different idea of what health means to us. I believe we must consider all aspects of ourselves to be truly healthy, body, mind, and spirit. This has been the process throughout history. Every culture's traditional healing system has focused on all of these, as well as connection, respect for all living things. It's my opinion that it's common sense to believe that our health is dependent on our feelings, thoughts, and temperament. This common sense is considered native intelligence, a basic perception shared by nearly all people. We have a rich history of healing arts and connection to learn from that have all respected this philosophy. Traditional Chinese, Ayurvedic, indigenous, and Arabic medicine were the basis for the Greek philosophers. They named and treated conditions like diabetes, arthritis, gastritis. Asclepiades and Hippocrates are credited as the founders of clinical and molecular medicine, but their philosophies came from these ancient traditional healing systems. They taught us that plants heal, and science confirmed it. We often isolate a specific chemical from a plant, turn it into a pill, and a lot of us, this is what we think of when we hear the word medicine. The original aspirin was made from the bark of a white willow tree. The scientific name is Salix alba. It was recommended by indigenous nations for pain and confirmed to be a pain reliever in the 17th century. Have you ever heard of the plant goat's rue or professor weed? Those are common names for the scientific Galaga officinalis, which is the basis for an early oral diabetic medication, glucophage or metformin. Bitter melon, Mamordica charantia, is the basis for a later class of diabetic medications. We know them as Byetta, Trulicity, and Victoza. Chamomile was a favorite in ancient times and still is today. It's one of the most popular herbal teas with 1 million cups consumed every day. This plant is an anti-inflammatory. We often use it for its relaxing or calming effects. Plants have a long history of managing disease, but medicine is more than a plant, a drug, or an intervention. Today, we see it as a science or practice of treating and diagnosing and treating illness and disease. But I believe medicine should work toward resolving these conditions with thorough evaluation of our diet, our activity, our lifestyle, our habits, our emotions. I believe this is possible. The past has a lot to teach us about healing, health, and happiness, while continued exposure to generational trauma reveal just how much emotional healing is needed. Recently, a report in Scientific America highlighted a separation or lack of connection to our internal body systems. These systems relay commentary and provide mental maps that connect our internal world to our cerebral intelligence, our sense of our experience. This connection is known as interoception. It's a historic term, originally used by Charles Darwin. This connection has decayed. We have lost touch with ourselves. This is becoming evident that it's important to mental health conditions as well, like anxiety, eating, and mood disorders, even addiction. It was actually observed in the 3rd century that humans, we are naturally inclined toward pleasure and often require treatment for our vices and passions. This is evident when we look at our addictions and challenges overcoming them. We are not only addicted to illicit substances, but common products like sugar, caffeine, negative thought patterns, and unhealthy behaviors. Ancient healing traditions incorporated practices to strengthen this connection. Yoga in Ayurvedic medicine, Tai Chi or Qigong in traditional Chinese medicine, and martial arts in general support and strengthen this connection through the combination of calisthenics and mindfulness. Traditional healing systems recognize the subtle body and subtle energies that move through our body in points and channels, chakras, meridians. We call them organs, lymphatics, endocrine, and circulatory systems. These traditional healing systems were considered whole medical systems. Their interventional strategies for managing acute and chronic disease and health promotion focus on bio, psycho, socio, and spiritual approaches. This broad view is essential to health and well-being. If we truly want to be healthy and happy, we must consider all aspects of our life, including our diet. In Omnivore's Dilemma, Michael Pollan goes in depth on the American diet. He describes it as industrialized. We eat more corn, and much of it byproduct, than any other country in the world. Our obesity and type 2 diabetes healthcare costs are over $90 billion a year. 55% of all deaths in developing countries are due to chronic disease. A third of children eat fast food daily. If we do not understand the reasons we are ill, how can we overcome them? The United States spends nearly twice as much money on healthcare relative to 10 other high-income nations: Australia, France, Germany, Canada, Sweden, Switzerland, New Zealand, the Netherlands, Norway, and the United Kingdom. All this expense, and we still have the lowest life expectancy and the highest suicide rate. What form of medicine can help us be healthy today? In medicine, we do research. We ask questions to identify shortcomings, problems, and ways we can do better. Why do we continue to choose risk and cost when we know there are alternatives that will achieve the desired outcomes? Change is upon us. It's time to reconnect to ourselves and our ancestors. Make space for women and people of color. Ground ourselves in our bodies and recognize our limitations and accept our responsibilities. We are stewards of this planet. By respecting nature and our fellow human beings, we can step into that role. Change is everywhere. We are seeing green energy, green economy, women in leadership roles, Black, Indigenous, and people of color being given a chance, being seen and respected. This is happening in healthcare as well. Educational institutions are focusing on inclusion, social determinants of health, and medical waste. Organizations like Clean Med Connect, Healthcare Without Harm, and Clinicians for Climate Action are offering resources for involvement and change. We can reconnect, learn to sense our body's experiences, manage the chaos of today's society, and take the time needed to care for one another. The time is now. Personal responsibility is essential, and balance is key. I believe it is common sense. Thank you.